just house lifesteal. He activates so well, and it's a good Rubik game.
Yeah, like Sanking or Chen.
I
was going to ask, what do you think about the Chen in the crowd? There was like a dude.
Yeah, he failed to bring in the creeps. He must have left them at the door.
Yeah,
he must have been inspired.
Maybe he's inspired. He went the Dagon build.
Ah, yes.
Solo mid Chen, good stuff. Yeah. Well, the Chen Juggernaut is really, really strong. There we got him.
Yeah, that's
Chen. Yeah, it's my time.
But yeah, like Newbee going for like a pretty push-heavy strategy. Morphling needs some time to get online. Like we spoke about the like 25-30 minute mark when he gets really, really strong, and they want to end the game before that.
Yeah, for sure. But it's also pretty strong base defense by Liquid right now. You have the wave clear from Mirana SD, and then you have the full commitment team fight. Is so close always. When Sanking has a blink, he could jump you. Well, we'll see here. It's pretty hard to play Chen against Sanking, I feel.
It is really, really hard.
Can't help but bring up a similar point to what I said earlier with Newbee's draft right now. Is it likely this Timber is going to be in the mid lane? Because I don't know if Liquid could throw the Sand King around or not, but they actually finish with an Undying grab here.
That is interesting.
Fun stuff. Well, there's our draft, gentlemen. Impressions before we send things over?
Liquid's, I think, slightly a favorite. I really like the Morphling from the Chen pick. It seemed like it was, they like tried to disguise it. They had the Juggernaut for the push, but Timbersaw not really that good at breaching high ground. I think they might suffer the same that Liquid had last game.
Yeah, I think they just forced something on them that they really shouldn't have. So I actually think I favor Liquid here.
I feel last game was much more of an outdraft where Newbee had the edge. Right here is pretty even, but I guess Liquid has a slight edge. It's just really volatile though. Undying in the early game, if he succeeds, then maybe Newbee can just take it. But if he fails, then yeah, he becomes so useless so quickly.
We'll see which team will succeed and which will fail as we send things over. It's game number 2. We throw it to our casters now. It's Odie, Pixel, and Draskell.
Thank you very much, Dakota. Indeed, game 2 between Newbee and Liquid just about to begin. They've switched stuff up this time with Liquid. Obviously a game down as they head into this one. And Liquid with a bit of kind of an eHome-esque strat. They've got 4 the same here as they did yesterday. Obviously 4 very relevant in the meta. The SD, the Sand King, that combination that we've seen eHome be able to execute perfectly. We're going to expect to see similar performance from Liquid as these guys, they work perfectly as a team. They've got the Undying as well. This is exactly what eHome had yesterday against Alliance, and it worked perfectly. Is it going to work as good here for Liquid?
I mean, I'm with the panel on this one. I really feel that Liquid's lineup is quite a bit better. I mean, especially during the late game, they have a little bit of illusion clear, I suppose, with the Timber Saw, but everything else considered, we saw what those illusions can do to even the most farmed cores. So I'm assuming it's going to be even worse in this situation for Newbee.
You see Liquid already with their positioning down here to get the ward down behind the tower. See if they can find anything in terms of a pick, but nothing's going to happen at the moment. Newbee keeping themselves back. But as you said, overall, you prefer the way that Liquid's drafted this time round. And does it give them a little bit more flexibility in terms of timings as well? We obviously saw in the first game, they were able to secure a very, very convincing early game, but they were just unable to convert that into a strong high ground push.
No, I think that Liquid definitely have amazing high ground potential this game, because all you have to do is just disrupt the Morphling, and then you just hit objectives. It's very, very straightforward. So for Newbee, they're the ones who really need to apply pressure. Like this Chen last pick, this has to do a tremendous amount of work, like, you know, either pressure mid, pressure the safe lane, just try to get something going as fast as you possibly can. So I'm hoping for Chuan's sake that he can perform.
Lane-wise from both sides, looks to be standard stuff apart from the fact that down on the bottom, of course, Undying will be hanging around with the mind control.
I like this swap, actually, like putting the Timber Saw on this lane. Like Undying during the early game, like obviously he wants to drop like Tombstone and fight under it. If you have like a lot of points into reactive armor, the Timber Saw is not really going to care that much, and plus it's double melee, so you know that your Whirling Death and whatnot are going to be much more effective. So putting the Juggernaut down here I think would have been a much harder matchup for the Jug than it would be for the Timber.
Especially with the fact that Mu does have Chuan backing him up on Disruptor, so maybe, as you said, even kill potential if Liquid get themselves out of position. Of course that leaves the other lanes, this matchup in the middle lane, House Jug, with Fada on the Mirana once again, as we saw, of course, Fada in game 1 playing this hero. And this matchup, again, fairly even for both. You don't see either of them going down unless Fada hits an arrow from a good position.
Yeah, the arrow is the only way you get a kill here. If anything, I think Newbee might be favored slightly in the middle lane just because if Chuan wants to run over there with a creep and just be annoying, he can do that. And Fata is not really going to have any help because Jerax is going to be doing, I think, some pulling and stacking in his side of the woods. But it really just depends on where Chuan wants to pressure. If he leaves us alone in a strict 1v1, both heroes just farm.
You see chuan already making the movement up top, bringing some creeps around. Oh, it's just a couple of skeletons. Nothing going to happen there unless you can just check out around the pull point, seeing if anything's going down on the side of Liquid. It's not going to be the case though, as both members of Liquid, the Timberman and Jax in lane. Just going in with a satire, spam the purple walls, keeping the Timberman back. And indeed, he's got to be careful. Have 4 stacks and an napalm on him as well. Keeping himself out of harm's way. But chuan just getting the most out of this. He's got a couple of more blasts left in the tank. So he'll stick around. He's hit a couple. And there's he. He's not going to drop the third one. There we go. There's the third one. And well, Timberman does still claim the gold and an XP, of course, from it.
Still got some pretty good value out of that. Was that 3 shockwaves? Not too bad.
Yeah, 3 shockwaves down onto him. More down bottom. We'll see Mu just salve himself up there. Harassment from Mind Control with the caustic finale, causing a little bit of an issue for the Timber at these earlier stages. Not going to be enough to get the kill though. We can see CS-wise, the lane is going very nicely for Mind Control. He's 15 for 3. So we're certainly seeing that the Newbee are unable to pressure this Sand King, especially with the backup of KuroKy on the Undying. Liquid seem to be doing very well on this bottom.
Sand King's actually just like OP. This Zero just lanes so well against a lot of the stuff that's commonly picked here at TI. And when you put him in this aggressive position, you're laning against another melee, doesn't matter what support you're with, like he's gonna get farmed.
Top lane, see them moving in onto KP. He has got the Firefly. Disruption to set it up, and oh, the burst is enough. Liquid getting themselves first blood for Timberman and his Morphling. Great way for them to start the game. And Timberman, he's going to be happy with that kill as well. As we can see, 15 for 3. He was certainly being slowed down a little bit by the presence at the back. We're going to free up a bit more space for him. Back over towards the mid lane. How? 18 for 2. Father still has the edge. 22 for 4. So pretty much as close as we expected this to be, especially with the fact that chuan yet to make a rotation towards the mid with the Chen army. He's just picked up a smoke, and we may indeed see that change if he wants to try and make a move somewhere on the map now.
I mean, he buys the smoke, but he doesn't really have the best creeps for ganking. That's the problem. I mean, maybe he can pressure bottom a bit, give the Mu Timber some breathing room. Skuro's making his way over for the 4-minute rune as well. I think he might. Yeah, he's going to beat chuan there. He's even going to scout out the rotation as well. So nice stuff, again, from Liquid here in the early game in game number 2.
I mean, chuan, as you said, with these movements around, where do you imagine we are going to see him head for? Where's the easiest place for chuan to make a play on the Chen?
Like, killing mid is actually pretty hard unless you can force out a leap, so I don't think he would be going there. I think the easiest place to have impact is either helping the Batrider or helping bottom.
You can see already, Liquid, they're going to be the first ones to try and jump in on Mu. Kaka, spawning, dropping down the field. KuroKy's just going to walk himself out of it though. Not turning around, in fact, Mind Control, maybe even looking for chuan, but chuan, he's got the creeps onto KuroKy. KuroKy, double strength sap. Looks like he's going to be fine. Jax has joined the force as well. Burrow strike onto Mu. Liquid responding as best as they can under the cover of moonlight. Looks like they're going to be okay, and again, KuroKy comes back in. 3-man decay takes down one, and even now, they're looking for more on the field. Coming out, but oh, here comes Control. Mine. Burrow strikes through.
Oh, one hell.
Finish off chuan.
He had 1 HP.
Oh, chuan HP. He made it out. Liquid responding nicely to Newbee's attempts at a rotation down there. 2-1 at the moment. And Liquid are going to have to get themselves back to base. It's going to give a bit more space for Timber, of course. Mid lane, How ready to move in. Fada actually hasn't got a lead for 3 seconds, and How he does have an Omni Stash. Fada, he's got to juke this.
There we go.
Leap comes off cooldown just in time. And a very, very close call there for Fada.
It's hard to chase in that situation. You need phase boots completed, I think, for How to be able to get that kill. He only had the 1 blade of attack, so a little bit unfortunate, but still doing very well in his lane. Obviously, Fata's beating him by a little bit, but sending Fata back to base will pretty much allow How to catch up. No real issue. Should be able to secure the 6-minute rune as well. So Newbee with still a better early game than we saw previously. The difference is that...
Ooh. It's nice. I mean, How's just bottled himself an invis, and he's still got that Omni. This, you know, he could certainly set something up with this one.
I mean, if he goes into the jungle or looks for any solo kill, he should be able to find it. The other option is he can TP bottom, and he can just pop the invis and then look for a counter kill there as well.
Mind Control, of course, still in a very good place, but at the same time, Mu has caught up on the Timbersaw. even CS at the moment. Level 6 as well, so the killing potential is certainly amped up. So Kaka hitting 3, didn't have the pointing glimpse earlier, now he does. So the catch potential is going to be even greater down on this bottom lane. Kuroki's headed back over though to join the force of mind control. Make sure that Liquid can keep the control that they have had on the lane. Jumping in, already TP's coming in. How? Immediately joining the fight. He's looking for a chance to use the Omni, hasn't quite got the mana with the bolt charge. Now he's got enough. He's invis as well, but not quite the usage of the invis into an Omni Slash he'd maybe hoped for, as Liquid just back themselves away. And Howard just make the long journey back towards mid with that invis rune. And doesn't look like he's going to find the kill that he wanted at all with that rotation.
That was a really bizarre chain of events. Like, if anything, you bait your teammates and you just use the invis to force them to overcommit, and then you just get a free spin or a free omni, and instead he just literally ran at them. I don't know if he thought he used the invis, but that was definitely not the play.
As you can see, just little movements like that. It's going to allow Fodder to get to a point where he's nearly 1k ahead of Hao when it comes to net worth. Top lane, Jarek's doing his best to create space from the Timberman. It's working out so far.
I mean, he's going to hit level 6 at what, like 9 minutes? 10 minutes? It's going to be really nice for Jarek's. And this Chuan...
It's not managed to achieve that much.
Yeah, Chuan's Chen is not really... I mean, he's gotten 1 kill for his team, which is great. But he's not really able to apply pressure anywhere else. And the thing is, it's really hard to gank Morphling, but you can pressure the lane.
Fodder jumps in. Easy kill for the Mirana. And the ping immediately comes out from Newbee. They know there's going to be a ward around on that high ground. But Fodder, free solo kill. Top lane, ping's coming out in Chuan. He's got the positioning. He may be able to punish Jerax. They have the detection. Jerax goes for a TP from Invis. The flame break knocks him out. Well, Hao's presence as well. They'll take down Jerax, Moonlight Shadow or not. And now with a good army as well on the top lane, Newbee could look to try and pressure in this safe lane of Liquid and shut down this area of the map, make it a little bit harder for Matumbaman to have as much space as he'd hoped for to farm up. They're going to react Liquid, of course, by just bringing Matumbaman down to the bottom lane, keeping him away from Newbee's aggressive push. And already Mu was the last man left, but realizing he doesn't want to stick around for this, especially with mind control fishing around in the tree line to see if there's any stragglers left behind by Newbee. Looks like it will simply just be the tier 1 for the tier 1 trade at this point of the game, and in a game where the early game is certainly looking better for Newbee in comparison to how game 1 was, but at the same time Liquid, they've certainly got their strengths. Fodder, of course, on the mid Mirana. We can expect to see good timing on the Aghanims with this beginning, unless Newbee put any attention towards that mid lane. There's certainly a lot of space being given at the moment from Mirana. Liquid now heading up top as Newbee pushing onto the tier 2. We'll see if they're able to do anything about this. I mean, Newbee's strong. Obviously with the Chen, it's very effective, Andy.
I mean, they're getting some damage in the tower, but they might get punished here for staying too long.
So they're just going to try and clear out the Chen army. And they're going to find it as well. They'll take down creeps. Now, it moves the tombstone.
Kaka is only level 4 right now. It's 10 minutes in. You really want your support to be a higher level by now. Having Static Storm is going to be huge. Having higher levels into Glimpse to make sure that you punish and can abuse that shit.
They might get a catch on the back line. The burst strike onto Mu. How? He's going to react by moving forward with the Blade Fury, but Jackson, the Demonic Purge, used to kite How up. He's still got the Omni though. He's going to jump for us. Only a few slashes, of course, at this stage of the game. Not quite enough damage. KP still moving forward. Gets the lasso onto Fodder and the Blade Fury as well. They should be able to finish off the Mirana. Fodder trying to get out. Won't quite make it. Takes down the bat in return. How? Surrounded by 3. It's a 2-for-1 trade for Liquid. And it looks to be even better. How? He's left the kitty cat up on the high ground. And Matumbaman, 1v1 in carry versus carry at the moment. At the same time, Chuan TP's out in front of Liquid. And all that's left for How is to just run away. Matumbaman waveforms forward, finishes off the kill. And that's going to be the 3rd one he's picked up this fight. A fantastic fight for Liquid in the terms they get so much for the Morphling there, and that one engagement puts Matumbaman at 6k net worth at this 11-minute mark.
It was a very disjointed fight. Matumbaman was pretty much on the opposite side of the rest of his team, just fighting the Timber, kills him eventually, and they commit a lot there. It seemed like there was some miscommunication.
Oh, and Fodder will just walk in, and Kaka, no chance of getting away from being hit from an arrow like that. Liquid, certainly with that fight in the way that, you said yourself, it was always going to be risky for Newbee trying to get that kind of a push done at this stage of the game. And it's hurt them pretty hard in this early stages.
it's because they feel very pressured. They know their lineup is not going to scale as well as Liquid's. Even with an Undying on your team, like the Morphling is going to be a huge nuisance. Arrow going to be off the mark here. But yeah, Liquid's lineup is just, in my opinion, straight up better during the late game, especially with the addition of the Chen. That hero just falls off really hard when you don't get the objectives, and every tower except for the tier 1 safe lane is still standing for the side of Liquid. Chuan, he is level 6 now though, and he's getting closer and closer to that mech. That's like the only reason I imagine they draft the heroes, because they want something to pressure lanes really hard. They recognize that Disruptor is a weak lane support, and just having something to be able to pressure is necessary, not only a natural mech carrier, but it's not really working out for them so far.
You can see a smoke from Liquid as well, ready to make a movement into Newbee's jungle. JerAx and Fada coming in. Chuan could be the one to pay the price here, as indeed JerAx finds the setup. There looks to be no help for the Chen here at the moment as they'll chase him down. Moba turning up to the fight as well. He'd love to get a bit more gold in his bank. It's going to be Fada getting the kill. Moo as well caught out. And again, Liquid playing this early stage of the game very nicely indeed. Newbee unlikely to want to respond to this. I mean, Hao has got an invis, Omni Slash at the ready as well. If a member of Liquid comes apart from the pack, maybe he can get a pick off. He's just going to keep hanging around, get the intel for the team. Liquid looks like they won't be punished for this, and just waltzing across the map as well. They may even find another. I mean, Kaka, he's on his own, and Liquid just walking around the map, taking kills wherever they want.
This is the same Liquid we saw in game 1. The difference is that this time around they can actually hit objectives. So this is a really, really bad situation for Newbee at the moment. They have their ultimates available. The problem is KP's blink, it's 13 minutes in, he's still like 600 gold away. Whereas the Sand King just continues.
Oh, and again Liquid. They're just walking around. Newbee, one after another, getting picked off alone. And as you said, with the progression that the bat was looking for, KP and his eyes on the blink dagger, it's going to be painful. 12 for 3 early stages. And as you said, this is certainly going to be a very different scenario in terms of Newbee being able to swing this one around after a start like this.
Newbee don't even really have the greatest of wave clear this game. Like, sure, the Timber's fine and everything, and you can use Firefly and Batrider.
Oh. And how? Oh, he's immediately, the combo's there. Is he going to get a chance to get out? No, Blade Fury is still on cooldown. He's going to run. It'll come off in a second. They've got the Hand of God. And only just getting himself back. Liquid continuing to chase with the TP's coming out. Oh, Decay nearly does it. How very lucky to get away with his life here. We'll see if Newbee are able to bite back. They're moving forward, but detection isn't going to be there on the outer bounds. As Liquid is able to play around with it. Kaka bursted down. Liquid, if they can get anything more yet. Demonic Perch on Moo. Monstrel hasn't got quite enough mana though for a burrow strike, but it doesn't matter. The burst from Liquid between the combination of the Soul Catcher and Moba. 14 for 3. Things looking very, very nice indeed for the side of Liquid. And we can see what the Juggernaut House, 6.7k, he's up there. But the rest of the team and Newbee, they certainly aren't. The core's taking a massive hit and falling hugely behind at this stage of the game.
Yeah, it's a very lopsided performance so far in favor of Liquid. The Morphling is going to be extremely difficult to deal with this game. He has the Link-ins well before the Blink Daggers coming out on the KP bat. That's already a big enough problem, honestly. And in addition to that, still the Chen hasn't really done enough, like nowhere near enough.
On top lane. Oh boy, he gets the Omni off in time to jig off some of this damage. But they just turn around and bring him down. Liquid again. They're finding so much, and Newbee, they're coming out a little bit too much, it feels, on their own. And especially the big cores as well. And as we were saying, Jug, he's one of the shining hopes at the moment for Newbee in terms of his farm, but if Liquid are able to kill him just like that when he's out of position, it's going to be very hard for Newbee to bring this one back round.
They needed to pretty much play the game that Liquid played in the first match in the first 10-15 minutes. Just try to go for kills, try to pressure, put Liquid in an uncomfortable position, but they weren't able to do any of those things. So now Liquid are just in a fantastic spot. They have a really good core matchup. They have a Mirana and a Morphling against pretty much just a Juggernaut.
Oh, look at this up top again. An arrow from Fada connects. And it's turning into a little bit of a slaughterhouse here for Newbee. as they are losing heroes left, right, and center. It really does feel like a repeat of the start of game one. But as we've been saying since the draft, Liquid, they've got certainly a bit more of their bases covered, and they do have push potential and ways to utilize this lead that they've created, as opposed to what they had in game one. Mid lane, Matumba man coming in looking for How. Static Storm, it's not going to control Matumba. And
What
the
a stun.
Liquid. No chill whatsoever. The perfect plays coming out time and time again. And they're not even done. They're hanging around on the sidelines. How? You don't want to come out, son, because they're going to be able to jump you on the back lines. They're looking for trial first.
Oh my
How?
God.
He's trying to get himself back to base. Liquid, the GG. It's all over. It's all over. And what a way for Liquid to come back after the mishaps of game one. They asked you, they said, Andy, would they be able to compose themselves, bring it back? But absolutely tenfold from Liquid. The draft was there. We said it at the start. We knew it would be strong with this combination of SD, Sand King, Mirana. There's a reason why those three heroes are hot material at the moment. Finishing it off with the Undying, just like we saw from eHome. And then, of course, Matumba Man, Morphling. It's a pick that they'll always feel comfortable on falling back on, fitting into any kind of lineup. 8-0-4, impeccable play from Liquid, and Newbee, they tried to go for early aggression with that Chuan Chen, and it just didn't work out. They didn't find the timing.